This is the Zapata Brand Podcast, Quick Hits Edition, with George Zapata, with Coach Diz, and Jersey Jay-Z.
Hey guys, welcome to the Zapata Brand.
I like that.
Hey, here we go. We got terrible Tim Witherspoon, two-time heavyweight champion of the world. If you guys don't know him, Timmy, give your introduction, buddy.
Hold on, let me get so people can see my belt.
Oh, look at that.
Oh, there you go.
There it is.
Yeah, so they can see. Yeah. Oh, hey everybody, this is terrible Tim Witherspoon, former two-time heavyweight champion of the world. I'm really not that terrible though.
We put this on the lot. We're going live here with you, Tim, because when I put it out there, I said there's not often a time where my audience gets to ask questions. Now you've been here a bunch of times, but to actually get questions from a heavyweight champion of the world is you know, it's a unique situation. They want to talk. They want to ask questions about how how it was in boxing, certain people and what have you. And you're not kind enough to get on the podcast here and go. Are you good with the question? Ready to go.
That's right.
So if we can really briefly, Tim, when did you really start boxing?
Okay, it was in '79. I was, the neighborhood I grew up in. There was several other boxing champions. Earl Pearl, Hardgrove, he was champ. Buster Drayton, who just passed away. I'm sorry, and it was Kenny Reese, who was a boxer. My brother Anthony. A lot of boxers came from that area. So, oh wait a minute. You asked me? What did you ask me?
No, what the year you started?
I started in '79.
Okay.
A lot of people people was like, Timmy boxing? Because I wasn't a guy to go around and beat up on people and everything. I was a football player, made all Philadelphia. I got a scholarship, got hurt and came home. And then I started boxing. When I saw Buster Drayton started boxing, I was like, okay, maybe I'm just going with you. I just walked into the gym, not knowing anything.
So you didn't know anything at all? You didn't box at all?
No, like I can't. My uncles and stuff used to box in the street. I got a big. I got 10 siblings.
Right.
Raised with 8 of them, but I had a whole bunch of uncles, and I used to see them in the street boxing in the body and all that. But never really thought about doing it. I really wasn't violent. I wasn't violent or anything. I did get into other regular fights, not a whole lot. And I love sports.
Does.
Yeah, I love sports and everything. So.
Mm-hmm.
When I got into boxing, everybody was like, "Oh, this is just I burned my hand."
Yeah, I saw that. How you doing?
Wow. Yeah, I'm sorry, everybody, but everybody in the neighborhood was like, "Timmy boxing," because I didn't walk around beating up people, all that kind of stuff.
Right.
I made it. So all the young people out there, all the average people, you don't got to be a mean to be who you are.
Mm-hmm.
Just keep pushing. Because they never thought they was like Timmy boxing, and and it wasn't like I proved them wrong. I just went in there and just started playing sports because I love sports.
All right. Well, we're going to start the questions. We have a little segment here, and my brother starts them up. So we're going to start the questions.
It's now time for your questions on the Zapata Brand Podcast with Jersey Jay-Z.
Okay, now my brother,
right.
Jersey Jay-Z's going to start the questions. Start it up.
All right,
you ready?
You ready, champ? All right. So Brett from Wayne, New Jersey, and he says, "Hey, champ, you seem like a great guy, and you were a great fighter. Where did you get the nickname Terrible Tim?"
Wow, that is good because you can't leave people behind, and that is a good question. A friend of mine's named Talik Eddie Burgess gave me the name. So when I was like in the beginning of boxing, real quick, I started going to the gym, and he lived in my block. He lived right near me. He was real good friends of mine, and he went to the gym with me one day. And when he went to the gym, he watched me spar. And the word terrible at that time meant somebody hit a 3-pointer. Oh, that boy terrible. Or if he hit a home run, they said, man, he terrible. So when I was boxing, Talik was like, man, you terrible. You terrible, Tim. You terrible, Tim. But then when I started sparring with Ali started calling me terrible. And everybody thought he gave me the name. So I went to Ali. I said, Ali, I said, look, I got a friend I grew up with. I want to give him the just due. I want to let everybody know who gave me that name. He said, Tim, go ahead and do it. Because everybody thought Ali, because he kept calling me Terrible Tim, and I sparred Terrible Tim. And so I went, and that's when I started telling everybody, my friend Talik, who I grew up with, Eddie Burgess, he gave me the name. And I felt a whole lot better about that, you know.
Hey
Okay.
Tim, how many years did you spar with Ali?
It was only for the Larry Holmes fight.
Okay.
It was only for but I was in his presence a whole lot. Like when we went to Indonesia, we was in Indonesia. We was several different places. He came when I fought Tony Tubbs for the title, or I think Greg Page. He did fly a couple of places and meet me, and we were good friends. And he also met Mike Tyson. He was friends with Tyson and a lot of other, who didn't love Ali, you know? So I'm real quick. I had like a kind of cool a cool relationship in a way because he dealt with a lot of Muslim people in Philadelphia, and that's where I was born and raised. Jeremiah Shabazz was like an imam minister in Philly, and he was associated with Ali, and so it clicked on really fast. Oh, you from Philly? And then I knew Jeremiah.
Why did Ali pick you as a sparring partner for that fight?
Why did he take it? Okay,
Yeah.
so I was up in what happened was real quick, everybody. This is when young boxers need to learn what's going on. Larry Holmes had offered to hire me as a sparring partner. I was with this trainer, Clarence Booker. And Clarence Booker really I didn't know. Young people don't know when you go in the gym who's training, who's a good trainer. So I'm up there training with him and stuff like that. So some guy came up to me and said, how come you didn't take that sparring job with Larry Holmes? He was going to give you $1,500 a week. And I was like, what you talking about? He said, yeah, they talked to your trainer about it. And I said, oh, wow, I didn't know that. So I left and I went up to Ali's camp. I left the old guy and I went up to Ali's camp, started sparring with Ali. And I found out that's what made me, I started learning about how boxing is and that you got to just watch yourself. People do certain things and it'll slow you up. So when that happened, that's when I first started learning about how bad boxing was. And he was a good old man. And how about this real quick, guys? After I won the title, I took that belt right there in back of me. It was a belt. This is a WBC belt, but they took the other one back because when you lose the title, when you win the title, they give you that belt, but they take it back and give you a duplicate. So yeah, so things went pretty good. It went pretty good after that.
Okay. Well, that leads into my next question for all three of you to answer. From Luke from Orangeburg, New York. And he says, I grew up watching Ali, and I consider Angelo Dundee one of the greatest trainers of all time. Who do you believe is the greatest trainer of all time? We can start whoever you want.
Okay.
Go ahead, Timmy.
Well,
you go first.
I'm going to tell the truth. Angelo came from my neighborhood in South Philly, not directly in my neighborhood, but only like 10 minutes away. He was born and raised. When I went to the camp, I never seen Angelo. And I love the guy, but Ali never listened to him. I'm telling the truth now, and I hope I don't lose no friends or anything like that. Ali never really listened to him. I don't know why he had him with him, maybe for politics reasons, but he never really taught Ali anything. And neither did Jules Bondini. They was motivators.
Right.
So there's a lot of trainers today getting the title as one of the best trainers because the fighter won, not because they were good teachers.
Wow.
I really don't want to say no names. There's good boxers out there. They got a trainer that really didn't teach them stuff, but they're going to get the credit, and people are going to send their boxers to him, and they're not going to get the results they really want. And I hate to talk bad, but that's what I found out. But Ali did it on his own. Angelo, I love him, and we from the same neighborhood, the same area. But Ali, sometimes Ali really didn't listen to him. Sometimes Bodini was the one motivated him, and Angelo Dundee did too, somewhat. But I heard that he never really boxed before. Angelo's brother did, and so that's what made it work for Ali. Angelo, Bodini Brown, and him fighting.
All right. So on that point, Tim,
Yeah.
what do you think makes a good trainer? What do you think makes a, you could be a motivator, you can be what have you, but what makes a good trainer?
I'm trying to make these brief. I do believe that you definitely have to have some type of experience in the ring to really give the boxer a really good chance. Now, okay, so you got to have some experience, and usually the person that taught you, he would get credit. If you say, "Oh, this guy taught me," then everybody says, "Oh, wow, did he train you?" You know what I'm saying? So, I had a good trainer, and everybody knew him. I got a lot of respect from that. And nowadays, there's guys training people that never fought, that don't really. They're like there's guys that never fought, don't really have a lot of boxing experience, but they get in the corner maybe because they're professional on something else, and people know them, they follow them. There's guys. There's some names I would like to say. Maybe we could say them later, but they got made by the boxer winning. The boxer win, then they win. Oh, he's a good trainer, but never fought a day in his life. Sugar Hill was Tyson Fury's trainer, and there was people sending people to him, and he never fought a day in his life. So you got to watch yourself in this boxing world. I love Sugar Hill. His uncle, Manuel Stewart, my trainer, his trainer. I was really shocked when they got together. We was in camp. I was in camp with Tommy Hearns, and I was shocked watching Manuel Stewart asking my trainer stuff and giving him a lot of respect. And I was scratching my head. I was like, and he was giving Slim all this respect, and I was confused. I said, here's Tommy Hearns beating up, knocking guys out, one of the greatest middleweights. And my trainer was doing this to my trainer. And I learned later on down the line, Angelo had some amateur fights, but he really haven't had not Angelo.
Emmanuel.
Yeah. So he never really he had amateur fights, I heard.
He was actually a national champion.
Huh?
He was a national champion.
He was a national champion.
Yes.
But a lot of his boxers didn't have really good defense. And Tommy Hearns is the proof because and I love him. He can't really communicate that good. He was a really good champ. He was a really good champ. I was with him in training camp, but you could see that his defense wasn't that good, but his offense kill you. I'm gonna tell you.
I got two, Tim. I want you to get your feedback. Buddy McGirt and Robert Garcia.
Oh, Robert Garcia, I like.
As trainers, well, Buddy fought, and he has his own his style. And Garcia is his son. Is Ryan Garcia's dad?
No, that's his Robert Garcia.
Else?
Robert Garcia. He was
Mikey Garcia is his brother.
Mikey Garcia's brother. Robert Garcia was IBF champ. His father was Big G. He's the one who had Fernando Vargas. They're more West Coast.
Okay, I think he did a good job, and I like Fernando. I like the way he fight, and he was cool. I think he's a good trainer. I really didn't follow him too much, but if you watch Fernando Vargas, he was pretty good boxer. So he had to have some. Yeah, he had to have some.
He was
good knowledge. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I got Joseph from Harrisburg, PA, and he says, this is a question for all boxers. He says, when do you know it's time to hang up the gloves?
It's hard to say. If that money is still available, you're gonna come back and try to do it. Ali did it. A couple other boxers did it. You don't know. If somebody offers you something that's pretty good, you're gonna go for it. But I do believe if you like. For instance, I reached out to Tyson Fury. I sent him some messages and said and told him how to beat a mover like Youssef. All you gotta do is go to the body. 1-2s, keep jabbing him, put the pressure on his body, not the head, because they don't like getting touched. Movers, they move good. As soon as you hit them here, you stop their movement, and psychologically, they don't like that. I did it with Mike the Bounty Hunter. I keep talking about it on the YouTube and stuff. When they moving. Don't touch this, hit this. So they don't like when you stop them from moving.
Is that because they have to reset?
They have to reset, and it cuts off their moving. They cut it off because they'll do this and move forward and when you cut that off, they don't like that. So you got to go to the body hard. Tyson Fury is talking about retiring with a 0-loss record, but don't know how easy that fight with Usyk can be if you get the right person in this corner. My trainer taught me how to fight movers, and it's easy. It's easy.
Oh, I think he'd beat Usyk pretty easily. I think
but if you don't get somebody to help him, just jab him to the shoulder, jab him to the chest. Every time they make a move, don't jab him here because movers get out the way from up here. But when you stop this, they get frustrated. It happened with me and the bounty hunter. I kept hitting the bounty hunter in the body. He was the best. Tyson couldn't get him. A lot of the guys couldn't get him. So my trainer said, Tim, just go to the body hard. Go to the body. When we went that, he took his headgear off, hit my trainer with it. He started cussing me out and stuff. And Slim said, Tim, I told you what happened.
Tim, when did you? When looking back at your career, I didn't see you get knocked out cold. I never saw you get knocked out. When did you decide? Okay, this might not. Now I know the whole backstory with Don King, and at some point I'd like you to tell the story about when you came home with your check from England from Frank Bruno. But when did you just decide? You know what? I've had enough. This is it. There had to be something that you said. I just don't want to do this anymore.
I got older. It wasn't like I just didn't want it. I just was after a while. After I fought Bruno, he went home with $1 million something. I went home with 90,000, and I knocked him out in a 65,000 people stadium.
Right, but Tim, what you're leaving out there is your contract was for 500,000, and you walked out with 90 grand. Yeah, that is highway robbery.
But I didn't really know I didn't know the money until after. I didn't know what I was getting to afterwards. I saw the contract later. I didn't know I was getting 500,000 until later.
That's unbelievable.
When I was on an airplane going over to England, I didn't know how much I was getting. I was going over there to defend my title, and I did. So that was really bad.
Wow. That was probably you at that point. I think, Tim, you were kind of disgusted with the business. Because then you fought Bro and Crusher Smith, and you just kind of wanted out. I think you just wanted out from Don King. Let's put it that way.
I was wanted out from Don King, but I wanted to help the other boxers know that I wanted the world to know that I was getting ripped off by Don King, and I wanted to start helping other boxers that's getting ripped off. So instead of just thinking about myself, I started helping other boxers, started talking about this, saying we need a union, doing all this stuff, because there was a lot of people that was in the business that didn't like people to speak out either. There was people in the business that, you say this guy did this, this guy did that. There was a lot of officials and people didn't want you saying that. So there's a group of guys like me that didn't like what was going on, and we tried to fight against the system. So I did the best I can. I'm going to tell you guys now, I love that brother, Don King. You know, I love him. I don't want to do no business with him. And the reason why I say I love him, because that's what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to love yourself before you love anything else. And I love the man, but I don't want to do no business with him. And I think that things will work out better for me. He did wrong. I didn't.
Wow.
Yeah.
Do I want to do any business with him? No, unless everything's work out right. He has to live with what he did to everybody.
I don't think people can do business with it. I would like to get into other stuff too. Bernard, well, I mean, no, I'm saying about the business of boxing. Bernard Hopkins was just on a podcast, and he was on the Joe Rogan.
I was with him in the Philadelphia Hall of Fame the other day. I was with them.
Well, he was on the Joe Rogan podcast, and he said that right now, Al Heyman does similar to what Don King does, even though the Ali Act is in effect. Meaning, he said it right on the podcast that he has a guy who's in front, who's the promoter. He goes by the quote unquote advisor, and he double dips, which is illegal with the Ali Act. So, Tim, my question to you would be, how do you clean up boxing? This is, I just had Stitch Duran on. He did a documentary right before Mike Tyson got that tattoo on his face.
Okay.
That's how long ago it was. Okay. That's how long this documentary's been out. And he said he just looked at it again. He sent it to me in an email. I just looked at it. He said, if you see, it's the same problem since years ago. You're talking years ago. How do you fix boxing?
Listen, I didn't even know that. I thought that what's the promoter name?
Al Heyman.
Al Heyman. I thought that he was doing pretty good until I heard some negative things about him too.
Well, I didn't say that.
How you fix it? How we fix it is it's going to be kind of hard, but all the boxers going to have to stick together and try to work together and try to stop these promoters. But the money that some of these guys are getting, we need to get the guys that's making the big money to join in and let them lead the way. All of us guys that don't have the money and retired, they're just a walk over us. So the guys like Deontay Wilder, Tyson Fury, even Mike Tyson, as he's retired, is very powerful. Those kind of guys just can't be me. I'm a fighter to the end. I'm right now. I'm man. If anything wrong, I would like to speak up about it. But those are the guys that's going to have to do it. Deontay Wilder, Tyson Fury, all the guys that's making the money, the lower weights, they are going to have to really get this thing done. But I don't know if there's that many of those guys still like doing bad contracts and ripping off. You ripping people off.
From what I hear, it's still going on.
I mean, isn't De La Hoya? Didn't he get sued?
I think everybody's
serious.
Yeah, he got sued by Ryan Garcia.
He's a boxer, man. He should know better.
So, well,
you know that.
It's just
money's the root of evil, man.
Yo, you right about that.
No.
Tell me, Oscar, can you tell me
the
briefly,
love of money? The love of money.
But can you briefly tell me just a little bit about that?
He the Ryan Garcia wanted out of his contract because he said he was making deals somehow where it wouldn't benefit him. He was looking out for others as opposed to him, according to what was written.
Other boxers?
I think he wasn't making the best deal for him.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So whether that's sponsorships or whether that's something else, I don't know the details of that. The details that I do know was what Bernard Hopkins said publicly on a podcast, that Al Heyman is doing exactly what Don King did, and he's going around the Ali Act, and that's open, that's out there, that's in public. If everyone wants to see it, it's a Joe Rogan podcast.
Now, do you think it's because is Bernard still with somewhat Golden Boy? Is he still with him?
He is 100%.
Do you think that's what it is?
Yeah, he is.
I don't know.
100% he's with Golden Boy still. Him and De La Hoya are still partners. They're still good friends. But you know, listen, the bottom line is this, Tim, and you know this. Anytime you have a large sums of money in front of you, someone's gonna get the short end of the stick. It's the way it is.
Depends who the promoter is.
And 9 times out of 10, though, isn't it the fighter who gets the short end of the stick?
Yeah.
That's what you deal with. Yes, is the promoter putting the money up? Absolutely. But the fighters putting their life on line entertaining us.
Yeah.
They should be paid. They should be paid.
100%.
Jay-Z, what do you got?
All right, I got Don from Little Falls, New Jersey. He says, your fight against Larry Holmes was really great. You actually lost a split decision. What would you do differently in that fight if you can go back and fight again?
Oh, good question.
Well, you know that was only my 13th fight. I only had 7 amateur fights. I turned pro in '79, and here I am fighting one of the greatest boxers. 3 years later, 3 years before that, I fought him. I was an amateurs, almost 2.5, maybe 3 years. I had a great trainer. I felt I won the fight, and later on, I found out you got to do a little bit more to dethrone the champ. You just can't do that much. Just like with Tyson Fury and the African brother. The African guy had to do a little bit more. Now, a lot of people thought that he won, but no, you got to do more than that.
Yeah, I think so.
From somebody. So I did enough for the people to see it, but you got to convince them even more. And that's what I think that's what the situation is.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
okay.
All I had to do was just train a little harder, maybe, and push. I had to do a little bit more to beat. Larry Holmes was trying to reach the 40 knockout mark. I would have to do even more and more to take that title because he was trying to reach greatness.
Yeah, but I think you won that fight. I
felt I won it. I felt I won it.
Yeah, that's very good. All right, Billy from Beaver Falls, Pennsylvania. Says, Tim, was there ever an offer for you to fight Mike Tyson?
Yes, it was.
Oh,
I'll briefly tell you. The management, I was slick. I had a trainer that taught me a lot of slick stuff and things like that. And so, are we still on?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay, I just got one.
We just got you on.
I put you on because I wanted to hear that whole story. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
There you
You're
go.
on.
Wait a minute. You asked me that.
Did you ever
Mike Tyson.
Did you ever have an offer from Mike Tyson?
Yeah, Tyson. Okay. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I keep forgetting stuff like that. But I burnt my hand. I'm sorry. So his management was skeptical because I had a good trainer. They knew it. I was slick. I was smart. And if I was in good shape, they didn't know which Tim Witherspoon was going to show up. That was the thing back then. Wow, if the real Tim Witherspoon show up, we might be in trouble, or he probably could win this fight. And that's what his managers didn't want to take the fight. But Tyson would have fought me any day of the week. They turned me down.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it was feasible at that time for all parties involved, or if it was good, whoever would have make money. But when I found that out, I said, "Whoa,
Wow,
that's cool."
Yeah,
but Tyson would have fought me anytime.
But you had a very similar style to Buster Douglas. I think you would have given problems.
Mm-hmm.
You had a great jab, good defense. You were able to tie up, push him off, and you're big. You're just a big guy.
Listen, Buster Douglas and me, we got similar, but my defense is a lot better than his. The way I moved in and getting close was a lot different. Buster beat him, and the circumstances, the time when he beat him was the right time.
Yep.
His mom passed away. He was mad.
Yeah.
Wasn't nothing going to stop him. He was going to do this for his mom, things like that.
Mm-hmm.
It worked out pretty good for him. And I think Tyson took him lightly.
Yeah.
I think so.
Because I
Hey,
think
Tim, I got a quick
today-
question. What was
Yeah, go
the
ahead.
quickest turnaround in a heavyweight fight you had?
What was the quickest turnaround in which fight, or
Just like a fight, like in between fights. What was the quickest that you know?
he making an old man think?
I would think it was the fight right after you lost to Holmes. You jump right back in with Bone Crusher. I think that was the quickest.
Right, that was
turnaround.
okay.
That was the quickest turn.
Okay, the question again. I'm sorry.
Well, right.
I was
So when
cooking dinner. I was running
the
around and I
shortest-
rushed to the podcast.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
The shortest time between fights that you
Yeah.
had, which was it? Like when you said, "Oh, I fought." Let's just say it was in May, and then you fought in June right away. Was there a time where you were really back-to-back fights? Because fighting heavyweight takes a lot out of you.
I know.
Yeah.
I think it was. I'm sure it was. I fought Bone Crusher right after.
Right after
Right
Holmes.
after Larry Holmes.
I think so. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So my momentum, I was going like that because I did good against Larry, and
Oh, you know what? You know what, Tim? I'm wrong. You fought Bone Crusher right after Frank Bruno.
right after Frank Bruno.
Yeah, that's when it was. That was when it was the turnaround. That was the quick turnaround because you essentially wanted out of your contract. You didn't train much, and Bone Crusher was a big underdog in that
But
fight.
I tried. I didn't know he was, but I tried.
He's
I
underdog.
trained real hard because I wanted to beat Bone Crusher. I wanted to try to get out my contract because I only
Did you
went home
really?
with 95,000, and Frank Bruno went home with $1 million, and I went home with 95, and I was the champ, and so I wanted to really, and I did. I beat. But the second time I fought Bone Crusher, I threw the fight. I had to. I threw it. It was over. Yeah, the second time. If you watch the first fight,
Yeah.
hey man, Bone wasn't doing nothing to me. I was blocking, hitting him, almost knocked him out twice. Then the second fight, I knew that Don King really, his interest was only in Mike Tyson. He didn't care about me, Bone Crush, Tony Tubbs. He didn't care about none of us. So yeah, so after I got ripped off,
The backstory.
that fight, I knew I was going to get ripped off again.
Well, the
So I said,
backstory.
you know what? I'm not going 10 rounds with him and get hit because I wasn't in shape. I wasn't supposed to
Yeah.
fight. So I took the fight and I said, yo, man, I'm going down to 3. Make sure it's a 3 knockdown rule. And if you see the fight, you see that, hey,
I know you weren't there. You weren't there.
I just
But
said, hey, I'm going down. I was a good actor.
here's the backstory to that.
Okay.
Carl King turned out to be Bone Crusher Smith's manager the night before the fight. So he was, now he's double dipping.
Conflict of interest.
It's crazy that that this stuff went away. That they got away with all this stuff. Now, yes, this is the way the Wild Wild West was last time,
Yeah.
but it shouldn't happen now. But think about that. So whether you won or lost, he had the contract for both, so he continued to have the grasp on the heavyweight division.
Yeah, but he had that situation before that fight.
Right.
Things was like that before that fight.
Because he wanted Tyson to be undisputed champion at that point.
Yeah. He knew Tyson was furious. He was aggressive. He knew that Tyson was the next thing coming up. So he didn't really care about all the rest of us guys. I knew it. That's why I wanted out. I didn't want to have nothing to do with it. And Evander Holyfield was another boxer that turned me down, but he turned me down because I think he had health problems.
Okay.
Yeah, he had like a hard heart, they called it at this time. So his management turned me down. Lou Duvenham knew that I was a slick boxer, and I never really was in top shape. Imagine me in Tyson shape. I would be the richest man in the world. I'm serious. Because I had the skills, I had a good trainer, I had people behind me. I wasn't an ass. I don't mean to say this word, but an asshole. I was nice to everybody. And I got a little bit of that from Ali. I said, man, Ali is one of the nicest guys in the world. He got out of his bed just to sign autographs. I was in training camp, and they had people knocking on the door, and security was grabbing them to pull them away. And Ali woke up and said, leave them alone. I couldn't. He said, leave them alone. And Ali signed autographs and took pictures with him. And I said, you know what? I want to be just like that.
Wow.
Tim, you had all the skill. You had that. What was missing? Was it just the motivation? What was missing?
Well, me being in shape, that was
right. But what was missing from you to get into shape? Did you not believe in yourself, or you just said,
no?
What was that? There had to be something there.
The business part.
Okay.
It was up and down. The business part wasn't. I knew they didn't really give a daggone about me. They cared about money and who was next in line, so they could make more money. So, I just stayed motivated and try to get as much money as I can, because I knew what was going on. After a while, I said, wow, this is bad. And I just kept on winning. I kept on doing this and try to meet the right time for me to try to get good lawyers and stuff behind you. But lawyers was in it. Officials was involved. They was all friends. A lot of them was friends with Don. And it was kind of hard. So, it was kind of hard.
That's the bad part. All right, go ahead, Jason.
All right, David from Poconos, PA says, Tim, is there any fight that you regret taking?
That's a good question.
Not really, because I took them all. I wasn't really confident with my defense, blocking punches. Is there any fight that I regret? No. Like what's his name? The Italian kid, Lou Savarese. I really went down on that fight too. I wanted to make some money. He didn't really hit me. He told me after the fight, Lou Savarese, he said, if you was in shape, you would have killed me, Tim. And I was like, no, you did a good job, Lou. But before the Lou Savarese fight, there was a lot of stuff going on. And I was going to fight him. But when the referee, like Lou, if you watch the fight, Lou threw the punch and didn't even really hit me at all. And I went and I was off balance and went down. And the referee came in and stopped it. And so he said, he called the fight. So after the fight, the referee asked me, said, you think I called you too soon? I said, no, you did all right. Because I just wanted to get the money and go forward.
That was Tuesday night fight.
Serious. This is serious. I seen Lou about half a year ago. I seen him 3 or 4 times since then. But a couple of times I seen him, he said, if you was in shape, you would have killed me, Tim. And I was just like, no, man, you did a good job. You know what I mean? But if I was in real good shape, I would have got him out of there.
Yeah,
I took look, when there was the knockdown, I went down. I wasn't hurt or anything. So when I got up, the ref said like that, I didn't care.
Yeah.
I was just trying to get money to pay the bills. And I knew I wasn't going to get another title shot.
Wow.
Well, I could always tell
Yeah.
Tim when you weren't in shape. I could always tell. Like, or when the referee stopped the fight, you're always just like, so be it. I could tell you were disgusted with the business.
Yeah.
Just disgusted, and you don't. They didn't give you a fair shake. But again, not. It just was a weird. It was a weird time.
There's
That
a lot
time
of
was.
other boxers too that it happened to. I just was more outspoken.
And unfortunately, they kind of blackballed you for a little bit
Yeah.
because Don King had the lock on every heavyweight.
Yeah, there's a lot of people mad at me. A lot of officials, they was like, because they getting money from them. They get money from them.
Yeah.
But
No.
they know that I was a good guy. They liked me, but they had to do what they had to do.
And it was funny because this documentary I saw, Bobby Lee, Jose Suleiman, all these guys were involved with Don King. They were all involved.
I'm gonna tell you, they came to my door when I wasn't going to fight Bone Crusher. They found out I was going to take a dive the second time, and so they was coming to my door to try to convince me to fight. Those names you said, they knocked on the door one at a time, was saying to me, "Come on, man, you got to fight, man. We're gonna make sure you're okay." Then the next guy came. Those names you just said, it was officials. They knocked on my door in the hotel room and tried to get me to fight because I wasn't fighting. And then after a while, I said, I'm tired of this. This is the Bone Crusher fight. I said, nah, I'm just going to just go down and get away from them.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I did. I went down, watched the both fights. The first fight, every round I won almost. The second fight, I had to be a good actor.
Yeah.
And I did it.
Pretty good.
Go ahead.
All right, we got Roger from Pittsburgh, PA, says, who was the hardest heavyweight that ever hit you?
My kid's mother. Boy, no, I'm just joking. I was waiting for something like that to happen so I could say that. Who hit me the hardest was Carl the Truth Williams.
Really?
I was chasing him around the ring. The whole fight. He was moving, and he caught me with a right hand and stumbled me. And I stumbled, but then I started firing back. That's one punch I felt. Sometimes you get hit, you don't feel pain, but you just get your balance and you come back. So sometimes there's no pain when you get hit hard. You just start falling and stuff. So Call the Truth, I felt it. It was yeah, I felt it, but then I won the fight for the what was it? The WBA,
I think.
No, it was one of the smaller ones. It was one of the smaller ones.
USBA? Was it the
USBA? USBA.
Oh. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
He caught me, man. I was like, and then I came back firing on him. And so I won the decision from Call the Truth, but he hit me the hardest. Boy.
Wow.
Now that was
you got a good right hand.
Was that the only time you ever really wobbled? Was that the only time? Okay.
Yeah.
I never seen you wobble.
I never really got hit solid. I had a good trainer.
You had a good defense.
Keep your hands up. Block.
You never really got hit hard. That's the one thing I was watching your fights not too long ago, and you just didn't really. That's why I think you would have given Tyson a hard time. You really would. You had a great jab.
In shape.
Tim Witherspoon. Let's just take it on in shape with all of it. In shape, you were one of the better fighters in that era. In shape.
I think so. I think so. I'm sure.
There's no doubt about it. No doubt.
Yep. All right. Greg from Rivervale, New Jersey says, when you fought Andrew Galata, what did you think of Poland and what did you think of Andrew Galata?
Okay, that's cool. I like that. Andrew was a good guy. Okay, we flew. This what happened. I was home in my house, this house that I bought, and we were just relaxing. Then we heard a knock on the door. It was the boxing promoter for Andrew Galata. He knocked on the door and I said, "Yo, how you?" It was a limo outside, and I was like, "Hey, how you doing?" I was kind of like, "Yo, get the gun or something in the back." They might try to shoot it. So he said, "Hey, Tim, his name was Ziggy. Ziggy said something from Poland. That was Andrew's promoter." He said, he showed me some stuff. And he said, "Come outside." He said, "I want to talk to you." He said, "Well, I want you to fight Andrew Galata in a couple of weeks." And I said, "Okay, I just needed money. I needed money." So he knocked on the door. When he knocked on the door, I came out, started talking to him. And then about a week and a half later, I flew over to Poland. I wasn't in shape. I tried to train as much as I can. Went over there, and I know it's for him to win. I just didn't, and what I said to him when I got there, I try to be nice to him to try to convince him that, hey, man, look, man, I'm a good champion. You're a good boxer. You ain't got to hit me low. I was talking to him, trying to talk him out of being dirty.
Yeah.
It worked. And it worked. So this would happen. And I flew over there and we fought the fight. I didn't get hurt. I got some money in my pocket because my money was really bad. And that's the way it went.
Wow.
You know? Yeah. That's one fight that I just went over there just to get the money. And Brian Nielsen, they gave me money to fall. They came and knocked on the door too, and say, hey, we want you to fight Brian Nielsen, but we want you to fall. And they gave me the right money. And I was doing bad then, and I needed money. And I knew I couldn't get a shot at the championship again. The only thing I could do is retire and train people or be an opponent for other people. So I took the money. Guys, and I do feel bad about it. I took a dive one time in my boxing career, but personally, I took the dive with Bone Crusher the second time I fought him. I personally and everybody else, we knew that Don King only wanted Tyson. He didn't care about us anymore. And for me to go 10, 12 rounds with Bone Crusher not in good shape would have been really devastating for me, injury-wise. So I said, yo, make sure it's a 3 knockdown rule. And I was going down in 3. And I feel bad for Bone Crusher because he was saying, no, I knocked you out. I said, Bone, I'm telling you the truth. I said, yo, I had to get away from Don. He said, no, I knocked you out. I said, okay. For like 10 years, I've been telling Bone Crusher. After we made sure it's a 3 knockdown rule. We made sure we got like 300,000 or 400,000. Because Don King just wanted me out the way. So Bone Crusher, he just wanted me out the way. And even Bone Crusher, he just wanted Tyson. So I felt kind of bad about that, but I had to make that decision. And Bone Crusher think that he beat me. And I tell people, look at the first fight and look at the second fight, and then you make your belief on the fight.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. We got next question. Harry from Hackensack, New Jersey says, Tim, I believe your era of boxing had the best heavyweights. Every heavyweight was a contender. Do you think boxing will ever go back to that? We will see heavyweights.
Well, you know that most of those good teachers are not around. You got nowadays Deontay Wilder, Tyson Fury, Dylan White, Anthony Joshua. How many times they went down in the round?
Yep.
Tyson Fury and them went down how many times? When our era, you didn't see nobody going down all the time. They had teachers that taught you defense, blocking, the Philly shell, and everything. And you could see things going down, after our era. You could see things going down. They didn't have a lot of good teachers that teach the defense, the Joe Frazier, the Philly shell, and all that type of thing. So after our era went, a lot of things started going down because you don't see nobody. Look at Deontay Wilder, no defense. Anthony Joshua, no defense. Tyson Fury, no defense.
I think Andy Ruiz has a pretty good defense.
Andy got a good D. Yeah, but there's a lot of boxers in different weights don't have no D. What's those middleweights name? Crawford and Spence. He's explosive, Crawford, but the defense is not there. And Spence, no defense.
Well, that's why he got.
I see it right away because I'm defensive minded. Every time I look at a fight, I'm saying, oh wow, his defense. Oh God. Back in my day, they taught defense and offense. Now, you don't know who's in these guys' corner. I try to get in some of these guys' corners. They don't want that old time stuff.
Wow. Bob from PA says, Tim, obviously you have a love-hate relationship with Don King, but what do you think his legacy is in boxing?
Wow. I still think that he should go down as one of the best, even though he ripped everybody off. They got to figure out. They got to figure out a position for him. I actually sat one-on-one in the room with him. I knew he liked me, but he liked money more. The way he treated me really nice a lot of times. and he never really got angry with me because he knew I would fight if he put me in the ring. But he still took the money. So I do believe that he can go down as the best promoter, but there's got to be the negative part involved in it too. Because look, there's a lot of other promoters: Dennis Rappaport, Bob Aaron. There's a whole lot of good promoters that can get that award. But Don King was flashy. He had the hair. He built it up. He was a really good promoter. But the only problem he had was ripping people off. So I don't know. There's other look. Dennis Rappaport, who had Cooney. I signed with him. He treated me good. Gave me $100,000 signing bonus and a 50. He gave me 50 after I beat one fight, and he let me get 100,000 too. He was a good guy. Jerry Cooney's manager. Let me see. Mark Stewart, my first manager, was pretty good.
Who was your manager after he was a younger guy? After you had that issue with Don King, there was a guy there. I don't know his name. He was right after that whole thing when you broke off with Don King, when you started your second career.
Because what happened with us, what happened with us, our promoter, manager was selling drugs. They were selling kilos. And that's how we wound it up with Don King. Dr. Snow, Larry Levin. If you type in Larry Levin, he's a real nice guy. He had other dentists with him, David. And they used to come into the office. They used to come into the office and stuff, sniffing and stuff like that. Yeah.
What was that guy? What was his name?
Mark Stewart. He passed away. I found out recently. He gave us everything: brand new cars, places to stay. We stayed in a building with singers. See, he was managing singers: Brandy Wells, Captain Snow, a lot of other singers you probably don't hear of.
Seems like he liked a lot of Snow.
We all lived in the same building.
Oh, geez.
We all live in the same building, and every time we go to the office, we see everybody doing this.
That's never conducive
so
to
he got
a
caught.
good relationship.
Huh?
That's not good for a good relationship.
No, so he got caught, but he was going to make Don King pay us. His next move, because me and my brother Anthony were both undefeated. Anthony had knockouts, boy. He had way more knockouts. My older brother, about 2 years older than me. I hated to box with him. We went downhill after Mark Stewart gave up everything, and so did Saddam. They got in trouble. Everything went downhill with us after that. So we was going up the ladder undefeated, winning fights. Bernard Hopkins' uncle, Artie McLeod, he was fire. He was a middleweight.
Mm-hmm.
He was a fire. He was tough. And so all that, we had a team right down in Center City, Philly. We was with the musicians, and having fun. We was growing up that ladder. Then they got caught. Then we went downhill. We went with Don King. My brother Anthony didn't want to go. No. He didn't want to go, but Artie went with us. Artie McLeod, he went. And a couple of other boxers, Sterling quit. We went, and that's how things went. We after was undefeated, and my manager got in trouble. We went straight to Don. I didn't want to go, but eventually I said, "Man, I got to make money." Mm-hmm. My brother Anthony didn't go at all.
Where did he end up, Anthony?
He won some more fights by knockouts, and then he got knocked out. He knocked the guy out, but the guy survived the bell, and then the guy came back and caught him with a shot. And then he went on fighting some more. Now what he does is he helped kids in need. He goes around helping kids with needs, talking to people, helping them going to the hospital. He's doing really good. That's my older brother, Anthony.
Mm-hmm. Good. And you did tell me Seth was coming down to Philadelphia. Brother Seth. Your brother Seth. Your brother Seth.
Seth.
Steve. I'm sorry. Your brother.
Oh,
Steve.
right, Steve.
Steve. I don't know why I say Seth.
Steve lives with my mom right now.
Yeah, you told me you were bringing him down.
Steve had caught a stroke, and he's doing pretty good. He's moving around. He's getting therapy. He was in my corner. He was in a couple other guys' corners and stuff. So he's doing really good. He's with my mom right now. Gained some weight though.
Well, he saved my boxing show, Steve. He did. We needed 2 of his fighters had to come down from Williamsport.
Was one of them his wife?
Not fighting. No.
No, his wife fought. Shakur, she passed away.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, Shakur, she passed away about 3 years ago, and she was boxing too.
Wow.
Yeah, no, we had Steve brought down 2 guys from Williamsport to fill out my show. We needed it. And we were waiting there, holding our breath to make sure
he's
Steve
older than
showed
me
up.
too. He's older than me too.
And he showed up. He showed up with his guys.
He's like that. Steve
Yep.
was he's
Which was
like
good. Which was good.
Steve.
Yeah.
Right, well, we got one last question.
Okay.
Well, whatever.
Okay.
Let's keep it going.
All right, we got from Larry, and he says, Tim, you had a Hall of Fame boxing career. He goes, your defense is known to be one of the best. Why are not any of the young boxers going to you today looking for advice?
That's a good question. They see some of these other boxers being successful, not knowing that they don't have good defenses. And it's not too many guys like me around. So they're like these other so-called trainers are getting all the work because this generation don't know who was good and who was not. But in my generation, we knew because there was a lot of good old trainers still left around. And we knew through other peers and stuff telling us, yo, that trainer, but now you don't even know who's who around there. So that's the difference. Nowadays, you got to go dig out a guy like me who's not really getting a chance. I could have helped Joshua out. I could have helped Deontay Wilder, Tyson Fury, and other guys. Crawford, even though he's successful, and Spence. Guys like that, just bring me in. I don't have to be the main man. Just let the fighter win. That's all.
And that's one of the things I was gonna say, Tim. I mean, you're from Philly and stuff. I don't know why Bernard Hopkins hasn't reached out to you.
Well, I was around Bernard a lot, and we was in training camp together. I guess it's just strictly a business. Like I said, I was training with his uncle who knew a lot of stuff.
Yeah, and that's why, all that stuff.
That makes a good point. Why didn't he reach out and try to? I just saw him like 3 days ago at the Philadelphia Hall of Fame Awards, and he spoke a little bit. We talked. I gave him a hug and everything, and he looked at me, and we look at each other like, yeah, we knew, we was in the past and stuff like that. It was kind of really cool. But I would do that if I was in his position and knew about other guys like me. I would definitely reach out. Because boxing is not getting better to me. It's not getting better. The knowledge of certain boxes and stuff are really just deteriorating. It's deteriorating.
Well, they're going to have a lot of problem losing Showtime. They lost HBO. Losing Showtime. They're going to have a lot of problem coming up generating with the money. They're just going to. You can't put it on ESPN. ESPN is tied to Dana White with MMA. So they can't spend that much money. They have a huge investment there. So do you think they want to compete with their own thing? No, of course not. So I don't think they've got to find another outlet. They have to. I don't know why boxing doesn't. Some of the best times that I remember boxing was when it was on free TV, but also when they did. And I saw a bunch of your fights on HBO. The reason why we got invested in you guys is because those little things the clips they put together about your backstory.
Get the cord, quick.
Get the cord.
Oh, he's running out.
I'm sorry.
No, you're good. But what I'm saying is they would do this backstory of who you were and what you did, and that made me buy into who Tim Witherspoon was and all the other fighters.
Wait a minute, say something. You got to. I'm trying to get my hurry up, Shania. I'm trying to get the cord, the battery. I didn't know the battery. Hurry up.
The battery's running low?
Yep.
It's okay. You got it.
Live stream always, huh?
I'm sorry.
No. You're good, buddy. You're good. Oh, down goes Jersey. Jersey Jay-Z's down there.
Oh, there you go.
There you go. You're back on.
I'm sorry.
No, now we're back. Okay.
Yes,
so what I'm saying is, with boxing, we got invested in the person. We got invested in Tim Witherspoon. We got invested in Mike Tyson. Because of those little stories that HBO told about him, showed him training, showed him how they lived. If they went back to that, regular people would be invested into it. UFC does that a lot. They invest into their superstars and say, this guy, I want to know how he's a regular guy. So it gives that person, that kid or that guy who wants to be a contender, gives them hope to say, hey, I could possibly be somebody here. They don't do that anymore in boxing. They don't invest their money back into the product, which is very important. They have to put it back into the product. If you don't do that, how are you going to grow?
Yeah, just like the old time investors, like the company owners and stuff, some of them are like retired too, so you don't get the same reaction. You know what I'm saying? So the guys, the business people back then, a lot of them retired and they're not there to push with like things like what you're saying. They didn't see the old Sugar Ray Leonard fights, or they seen them, or they interested in the new up and coming people. If I'm on the right track. Maybe that's part of it too. A lot of them don't realize they didn't start down at the bottom like the older guys.
But you couldn't give me 10 names right now that if they went on, like, let's say they went on a talk show, I would know 10 guys. Back in your day, we knew everybody.
Oh,
who the heavyweight
30 or 40.
Yeah, middleweight champ, welterweight champ. You knew them all. And it was 4 or 5 in each division that you knew. Nowadays, I do think a lot of people are going away from boxing and going into football and basketball and all this other camp. But if they could reinvest back into boxing and getting guys like you guys are doing now, the Circle of Champions, that stuff is important. Keep that going. And the amateur circuit has to get better. It has to get better.
100%.
I mean, they have to. There's so much technology out there that could help this. Let me give you a real quick example. This weekend, Leo put on that show. He put thousands and thousands of dollars into the show, and 2 days before, people are pulling out, not showing up. It was driving Kenny nuts because these people are pulling out.
Okay.
There's no.
You talking about the boxers or
the boxers? We're just we're not fighting. Then the trainers wouldn't go. So what happens is there has to be some sort of accountability here.
Yeah.
Because you can't put these shows on if they don't show up. Now in Philadelphia, it's a little easier. They got gyms all over. But here, we put on Tim. You come to all of our shows. And they're good shows. They're
pretty good. Yeah, I was surprised.
1,500 people there.
Yeah,
I think you couldn't get flies over to some of those places I see. And look at over here. We're doing 1,300 people. And that's an amateur show.
Yeah.
So let's get that back investing into the boxing game.
No, that's true.
I think you do a lot better. You do a lot better. Well, George, do you have any other questions that were there?
No, that was it for now.
No. Timmy, what you got going on over there? What's coming up in your world?
Your podcast.
Well, I'm trying to just stay healthy for first of all, try to stay healthy, eat the right. Like I told you before, I haven't eaten beef or pork for 50 years. I haven't eaten chicken or fish for 5. I'm doing a lot of smoothies and protein-like stuff. That's what's keeping me positive. I'm going around. I just came from my son, Tim Witherspoon Jr. has a amateur show in about 13 days. So I'm going over there helping his boxers out. I'm just trying to stay active. Like you said, I would like for boxing to change. I would like for in the professional ranks. I want to be a part of it. If we need a union, I'm right on the front line. I'm like you guys. I don't want to see what gave me a prestige and championship and all that stuff. I don't want to see it go down. I want to see it keep going forward. So so I'm stand up on the front line and just try to see how we can make it work.
And your podcast that you do a live stream every Friday, 8:00.
Yeah, 7. Is
that 7?
Yeah.
Okay, well you jump on at 8. You're always late. No.
We got Brian Robinson, my marketing guy, that's helping. I hope we can collaborate, you guys, because we might need a team to bring boxing back. And
I think honestly, Tim, we know a Tim.
That's why I came on the show.
Well, let me tell you,
because of you and what was that?
My wife just put on, we need a Tim versus George fight. No,
let's get it on.
No, we do not at this point. She's just
come
mad.
on, George.
No,
you know
she's just, I told you when you come up here, we are going to spar. We are going to get in the ring.
Okay.
I'm telling you, we're going to. I'm going to put on. She's all mad because I'm not home. I still got stuff to do. I told her I'm doing this podcast, and she gets on me all the time about it. I need a break.
Where you get that belt from?
From you.
You took the title, huh?
I took it right from you. If you want it, Tim, you got to come up here and get it.
We got to go fight for it.
We'll fight for it.
Well, come on, man. Let's put together something, and see how we can get other people involved.
Tim, what I was going to tell you is, Coach Diz, me, and Leo, we went to the amateur show.
Okay.
And we put them on the podcast, and we did that, and our channel grew. It really grew because these kids they like to put it on Instagram and all stuff, and that's good because it keeps them involved in the boxing, keeps them involved in doing that. And you never know, you could catch a guy, lightning in a bottle from a guy or something who's coming up. And
Tim, what George did also too was he mic'd us up in the corner. So you heard how the corner was and everything like that.
Yeah.
Wait, say that again.
He mic'd us up in the corner.
Okay.
So when we were talking to Leo, you heard it.
It was almost like HBO.
That was cool. That was cool.
So I think kids would enjoy that. I think that the technology's there to do this. It's all there. I mean, Tim, honestly, you could. It doesn't cost much. I have all the equipment, so I would do it. And then, I mean, I think it's something that we can all do. We can collaborate together. We get Light on the line. You get Viking with us. I mean, it's
he's coming in tomorrow.
What's that?
He's coming in tomorrow.
Oh, Viking's coming in?
Yeah, I'm gonna train him for his next fight. And
is he gonna fight Nate Diaz?
I think that's who he's gonna. You better keep up on everything because I'm slow. I'll be doing big kids stuff, cooking food, and I go to the gym. I was at the gym today, but we do, man. We need to collaborate and stay together, and maybe we might be the ones that bring boxing back. Your show, our show, and everybody. I'm looking forward to working with you guys and coming on the podcast again. You guys come on ours.
Yeah. We will, believe me. We put that. My brother Jersey Jay-Z put that out there on it, and he said, "Hey, give me
Jersey
some
Joe Walcott."
He put that out there, and he got a ton of questions. It's not often that my audience gets to ask you questions. Now they do see you here when you're here, but they don't have time to ask you a bunch of questions. And they came in with a ton of questions to ask. They're very, you're someone who they want to talk to. You're honest, and you shoot from the hip like it was. I mean, you did not back down from those questions, even though there's some very sticky points there that
with Don King.
With Don King, I'm
gonna tell you, I'm just like this. I just changed. I'm not saying I didn't love everybody, but I'm loving myself. I'm taking care of my kids. And if all these people out there that have problems, you got to start trying to love yourself. And you'll definitely love somebody else if you care about yourself and all this violence and stuff. I'm really scared of that. I'm tired of it. And I just want everybody it's hard. It's going to be hard. But hopefully everybody just get together and try to pull out of this big mess the whole world is in.
It is
not going to happen in our time, but at least we can try to make things happen. We're going to do these podcasts and try to get these kids on the right track. That's all I'm concerned about.
And I think would be cool. What I think would be cool too if we got you on the line with us, and we got some of these amateurs that were fighting, so they could ask you directly here on the podcast too.
When you want to do it.
Yep, we're gonna do it.
That's youth. Listen, that's youth, and I'll be wrong not to turn that down. I'll be wrong. I'm a father of 5 girls and 1 son. I got 14 grandkids, and I would want everybody to treat them. They all good kids. I would want everybody to treat them with respect, but we need to do that. If I could save some young kids or help them, I'm not going to turn my back. I'm going to come right on. I'm going to come right on. If I can save 1 or 2 lives or change a life, I'm going to do it.
Yeah. Well, you do know Shania is my favorite, one of your kids.
I don't like her. I love her, but I don't like her.
Oh shit. Well, Timmy, again, thank you very much for jumping on tonight. It was short notice. We've been trying to get this together. I'm just working a lot. But with that being
When the
said,
next time you're gonna have something?
what's that?
When the next time you're gonna
Well, I have your good buddy coming on tomorrow, Teddy Atlas.
you serious?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's coming on tomorrow on the podcast.
I just want to tell you real quick, and this what happened. I was with Jack. You heard of Jack Newfield, right?
Yeah,
Jack Newfield.
he did that documentary. He did
was
that
a
documentary.
good friend of mine. He told me, he said that I was the Martin Luther King of boxing.
He did that. He did the documentary for you. He did.
Right.
He did a great job.
Yeah, and so we met with Teddy Atlas. So we was in New York, was eating dinner. We was all friends, gave me a hug, shaking hands, talking right across from me and stuff. Yeah, he was asking me questions. We was having fun. And then as soon as we get to this fight where my son was on, my son was fighting Dusty. I forgot, a Latino.
Marvin?
Dusty, it wasn't Baker, I think. But he was undefeated almost. Undefeated.
Yeah, we knew a guy named Dusty Marv, but I don't know if that was him.
No, it was a young kid. Y'all making fun. So,
yeah, the kid.
So I went over to Teddy Atlas to shake his hands, and he acted like he didn't know me.
Why?
Yeah. Now we at the village. We at this dinner talking about Don King stuff, talking about in there. We having fun. Hey, Teddy, blah blah blah. And then when my son had a fight, and he was like he was one of the officials or something on the side. I went over to talk to him, and he acted like he didn't even know me. And I was like, wow.
But why do you think he did that?
Well, Brian know good about the medical stuff. Maybe he's not no schizo, but he has a mental or something. Because he met me, he was real friendly with Jack, and Jack passed away about a couple years ago.
Oh, did he really?
Jack Newfield, he passed away. Yeah.
Okay.
And so he said maybe Teddy has a little mental situation because he met me. He was like we talking real nice, we cool, and then at the fight, he acted like he didn't even know me.
That's weird.
BP, what's BP? Oh, bipolar. I said bipolar. And he acted like he didn't even know me. So I stood there at ringside and I kept looking at him. He wasn't paying me no mind. But at the dinner, he was like, oh, hey, Tim. We was talking. And I was like, what the hell is going on? And that's when I said, you know what? I don't want to go around talking about him. It's over. But he didn't really, that was messed up. He acted like he didn't even know me.
But do you think he did?
He could have interviewed me. He didn't even interview me. He was interviewing this amateur kid. And I was like, damn, I hope he come over and interview me. Well, he should, but he never did. He just kept looking, and then he didn't even speak to me. But at the dinner, he was speaking to me for the whole couple hours.
Wow.
Yup.
Well, we'll have him on Wednesday. And
I know in November 24th, we have some amateur fights in Scranton we're going to.
Yeah, amateur fights up in Scranton on the 24th of November. We're going to be there. We're going to have I don't think we'll be able to do a live podcast, but we'll be able to do the interviews like we did. We're going to interview. They're bringing in kids from Ireland to fight the kids from Scranton here.
Ireland?
Yeah.
I was in Ireland like 5 times, man. I know a lot of the amateur guys. My daughter's from England.
Yeah. They have a different style. They have a very different style than American.
They get in really good shape. English and Irish.
They're in good shape. They're in good shape.
English and the Irish, they get in, and they like a team thing. They like the team stuff.
That's something I always wondered. Why we're like the only country that doesn't like if we have a good fighter, they don't like ever walk around with the American flag. It never happens. But those other countries, they Puerto Ricans, Mexicans, they get that country behind them, and that we just never get a guy who we just put our flag behind. I don't get it.
Oh, you're right about that. You're right. I don't know about that. I don't know, but our country is going through a lot of different changes now, and we're supposed to be the leaders of the world, and everybody running around mismanaging the money, mismanaging this and that, so I don't know. We just got to keep on pushing, guys.
Yes, we do.
We're looking forward to the next one too.
Yeah. Well, you're going to be on when? You're going to be on Friday? You're on Friday. Your podcast. Your podcast is what? The Witherspoon television.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Friday. Yeah, that's Fridays at 7. You just call me.
Where can they find you? Where can they find you on social media? You're at Tim Witherspoon.
YouTube,
Instagram,
Facebook,
Instagram,
WhatsApp, Instagram. Yeah.
Okay.
On all of them.
It's okay, and it's just at Tim Witherspoon.
I don't know.
Tim, you're killing me. Tim, you're killing me here. I gotta start pumping you with this marketing stuff.
I'm gonna, Brian be doing a whole lot of other stuff.
Yeah. I talked to Brian.
He's with Mike Evans. They trying to do the barbecue sauce.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody that I was associated with, hooking them up with Brian so they can, because he's a marketing guy. He can market and stuff. And there is separate things that I would do on my own. But seeing things like that, he got the barbecue sauce. He could put together these teams, and we can go on and present things to the public. We can try to make money and 100%. Those type of things. So that's why I would go directly come up there and talk to you because you're my friend personally. But this guy knows business, and maybe y'all can bump heads and make some type of business. So
I think
better him talking too than just me talking about boxing.
I think what we can do is get that stuff together. We'll talk. We'll get our heads together. We'll get our heads around it. We have, my brother does a lot of the marketing or his guest relations. My other brother's a coach, and we could always pick up tips from you, Tim.
All the time. I still got some skills to show.
Well, when you come up, we're gonna find out how much skill you got.
I'm not smart. Hey, look, he want to fight. I'm not fighting. Hey, man.
There we go.
I know I'm older than probably everybody here.
No, my oldest brother is 68.
Get out.
No.
I'll be 66 in a month next month.
Wow.
Yeah.
No, oh, really?
Yeah, I'll be training. I don't know what it feels like. I know there's some 55 years older, they can't even walk, man.
Yeah, no, I know.
I'll be taking all kind of smoothies. I'll be taking the smoothies. I take them all day. I exercise. My digestive system is 100% because I used to get hemorrhoids. I hate to say this on TV. I used to get hemorrhoids years ago. Oh, blood and everything. Now, everything is
now all good.
Now all cleaned out. Okay,
smooth.
Yeah, good deal. All right, Timmy, we'll get back with you this week. Hopefully that you can get with us again. But as always,
that's done. That's a
pleasure to have you on the show.
We're family.
If you can, like and subscribe to Tim's podcast, Tim Witherspoon TV. Like and subscribe to the Zapata Brand podcast here. We got to get to 1,000 subscribers. Once we do that, we'll be able to do a lot more. Tim, you have over 12,000 subscribers. Come on, have some of those guys come towards me. Come on.
Well, let's keep working together.
Let's do it.
Let's keep working and get other. We got other legends. We got Mitch Green sitting there, can't even walk. We got Ray Mercer. We got a whole bunch of guys. We can
get them together. Let's get them together.
Hey, a good story here. Ray Mercer bet on me once. Yeah, Ray Mercer was in the crowd. Ray Mercer, Charles Murray, and one other guy.
Charles Murray, okay.
One other guy, and he said, "I'll take the guy in the red," and the other guy was in the blue. And Ray Mercer, I was the guy in the red. He took.
How about that?
Wow, look at that.
Well, we talked to him a lot. Like I said, we got a whole bunch of guys. Talk to Brian to see if you could. Well, I could probably get some of the guys on, but let's keep working so we can help each other grow. Okay.
We'll work on George Foreman himself too. We'll get that taken care of.
George Foreman.
We're talking to Brian.
Well, y'all talk to George?
No. We're trying.
We're trying. We got some stuff going on.
I hope everything works out. So let's keep working. Hey, I want to thank you everybody for watching the show.
Thank you, Tim.
Yeah. And
thanks, buddy.
What'd you say?
We love you.
We love you too.
Tim.
I'm sorry.
You're the man.
That.
You don't care about me, Tim. Where's the love, Tim?
Man, hey. I'm not anything. I ain't never had the trouble with you or your family, nothing.
Yeah, you're good.
I'm just trying to take care of my kids and try to be happy every day when I wake up. It's not smile as much as I can and spread the love. That's what we got to do. Life is not that long, right?
Again,
that's right.
That's it, buddy. Thank you for coming on. We'll see you next
Don't
week.
count me out. Okay, love
We
you
won't.
guys.
Yeah,
Love
buddy.
to see you.
Be good.
Yep.
Well, that was Tim Witherspoon helping us out there on the podcast.
Where'd Jay-Z go?